moments ago in discussing Bruce Arians' future. You're going to, again, your guess is, and hearing from him, he's staying there. And the helpful piece of that would be to have both. You said it looks like he's going to have Bowles and Byron Leftwich back. Why? Walk me through what's
because teams aren't smart enough to hire them, because Brian Flores is right. I can't explain it any other way. I mean, Jacksonville is dysfunctional at best, no matter who they hire, right? I mean, and I suspect Trent Baalke is somebody that a lot of coaches probably don't want to work for or with. And Byron has gone in there now twice. It's too easy, right? You got a guy who has a history with the Jaguars and was an NFL. How many NFL quarterbacks that really played at that level, high draft picks, calling plays, sat around with Tom Brady for a couple years, won a Super Bowl, 42 years old, and you've got Trevor Lawrence sitting there. You don't want this guy to work with him, really? You don't think he's going to be a good head coach? I don't know who would be better. They have a lot of names. They're talking to everybody, but they haven't pulled the trigger on anything. So I know Byron is a candidate with New Orleans, which is interesting. And I don't know where they're going to go. But, Todd Bowles was in it in Minnesota. He was in it with the Raiders. Those two programs look like they're going another way. So, both those guys deserve to be head coaches. For Bowles, again, for Byron the first time. I don't know what this league is thinking, with just Mike Tomlin right now, who had to win 15 straight years to keep his gig. It's a shame. And, there's 3 African-American coordinators here. This organization, I will say, has had 3 black head coaches, and probably the next one will be as well. I don't understand why there's not diversity in this league in coaching. It's frustrating. But it'll be to the Bucs' benefit if those 2 guys are back.
And the thing about Leftwich too is he's Bruce Arians' hand-picked coach for play calling. He was the one who took Leftwich essentially from home after he retired and basically said, "I think you can do this." And I've spoken to Leftwich about this and what Arians saw in him and what he's proven. And your point is perfectly well taken. That I guess he doesn't want to work with Trent Baalke. That he's still there, right? I mean, everything else checks every box. It makes zero sense.
And to be fair, I have not talked to Byron about Baalke. That's speculation on my part. But I do know that the last 3 teams Baalke has worked for, and 2 of the coaches he hired were one and done. Okay, I think here's what I think about Byron and Bowles too. These guys are smart guys. Byron told me, he said, "Rick, I've been a quarterback in this league. I've made plenty of money. I'm not one of these coaches that say I got to be a head coach by the time I'm this age or that age." He just enjoys, helping guys play. You're right. He had to be talked into coaching.
Yeah.
He was on the golf course for 5 years, and he got the bug. And Arians knew how he saw the game. He sees the whole game. Some coaches, it's the run game. Some coaches, it's the passing game. Some of them don't understand the complementary, with the defense or special teams. Byron sees the whole picture, and he's watched the game from under center. I mean, that's a rare perspective. There's a lot of great, play callers on that sideline. Never stood behind the center. Never looked down the barrel at a guy, in a zero blitz. But Byron has, and so now. And this is even bigger, as much as Byron thought he knew, he has a whole hell of a lot better perspective on playing the position with 2 years of working with Tom Brady, who took this offense and fit it to his own skill set and did it a different way, sees the game a different way. And so he's benefited from that. I don't know why people won't hire him. He's a great people person. He does not make excuses. I've been around long enough to know he's going to be successful when he gets his shot if it's with the right team. But I think these guys are smart. I think they realize it takes more, than just a quarterback prospect and, the rah-rah speech at the press conference to win in this league. And the longer it goes, these other staffs are going to be filled out. That's the other thing. This football team here in Tampa won because Bruce Arians could get together a hell of a coaching staff. If you're not hired a head coach yet, guess what? All those other staffs are starting to scatter and be sucked up by these guys that have been hired, and it's going to put you behind the 8 ball.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.